It was supposed to be just another Monday morning in Orlando, Florida. 13-year-old Madeline Soto, full of life and fresh off a birthday celebration, was dropped off near her school by someone she trusted, her mother's boyfriend. But that's where the story takes a sinister turn. Madeline never made it to class, and what followed was a chilling chain of events that would leave an entire community devastated. This is the story of Madeline Soto, a case that reminds us how quickly trust can be betrayed and innocence stolen. Today, we'll walk you through the timeline of her disappearance, the investigation, and the tragic revelations that shocked the nation. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Lindsay Unfiltered. And today we will be diving into the story of Madeline Soto. I'm going to cover this story in a timeline-like fashion with dates according to the events that transpired in this case. This case was recommended by some of my subscribers, so I believe it'll be a good one for us to look into, analyze, and see what really went on with Madeline Soto. If you like content like this that revolves around scandal, controversy, conspiracy with a twist of humor, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 2K. Thank you guys so very much for that. Without further ado, let's dive into the timeline of Madeline Soto. Madeline Soto, or Maddie Soto, was a 13-year-old girl from Orlando, Florida that went missing. She disappeared on February 26, 2024, and this sparked nationwide concern. Her disappearance had a huge impact on the community and a huge impact on her family, who loved Madeline very dearly. Now, we're going to take this step by step and look at the timeline regarding Madeline's disappearance. On Sunday, February 25th, Madeline had her 13th birthday celebration. Now, becoming 13 for a lot of kids is a big deal. I know it was for me. It's like, I'm a teen now. I'm a big kid now, right? It's a big deal. So I'm sure she was looking forward to this special day and had this special day surrounded by family and friends. The very next day, Monday, February 26th, Maddie was driven to school by her mother's boyfriend. Her mother's boyfriend's name is Steven Stearns. That was about around 8 o'clock that morning, 8:30 that morning, when Maddie's mother, Jen Soto, went to pick her daughter up from school that afternoon. She found out that Madison did not even attend school that day. Time went by and Madison never showed up. So at around 8 o'clock, they declared Madison missing. The Orange County Sheriff's Office met with Jen Soto to canvass the area, to search with dogs, but no sign of Madeline Soto. That Tuesday, February 27th, Madeline Soto gets an official missing poster released. Jen Soto and Steven Stearns can be seen on the news speaking about Maddie's disappearance. Now we go to the next day. The sheriff's office decides to have a press conference regarding the ongoing search for Maddie. That same night, Stephen Stearns was arrested on unrelated charges, but he was also named the prime suspect in the Maddie Soto case. Why would the police think this? I mean, this is why I would think it. I would think he would be the prime suspect because he was the last person to see Maddie alive. He was the last person to have contact with Maddie. And she just vanishes? No. That's not how life works, right? On Thursday, February 29th, Stearns' body language is studied by body language experts. He is quite nervous, quite unsure, and really sketchy, right? Extremely sketchy. On that Friday, Stearns was transported to a different jail. There was another press conference where the sheriffs said that they were confident that Maddie was no longer with us. Around 4:30 that Friday was when Madeline's body was found. The next day, that Saturday, March 2nd, Stearns skipped his first court appearance. It took them until the following Wednesday to release an affidavit revealing charges filed against Stearns. Investigators believe that Madeline Soto could have been a victim of SA by her stepfather. Why is this? Because her stepfather had explicit videos and photos on his phone. What led him to take her life? Was he afraid she'd say something? I'm not really sure. All of it is really just heartbreaking. You think about this. Just think about this. They bring him in to question him and find photos of what they think are her in compromising positions on his phone. The last thing you'd expect when you interview someone related to a suspect, right? On Thursday, March 7th, there was a memorial held for Maddie at a church. Her family got the tragic news that she was not coming back. And not only was she not coming back, someone really close to her had something to do with the reason she wasn't coming back, which I think could be even more devastating in certain circumstances, right? She left to go to school with someone that her family felt like she could have trusted. Otherwise, I don't know why they would have him with her, right? Why have him with her if you didn't feel like you could trust him? How does the mother feel in all of this? You know, how does she feel? I can't even imagine. I can't. So on the following Tuesday, March 12th, 60 more charges are levied against Stefan Stearns. He has a plethora, an absurdly large amount of child suggestive material on his cell phone. So there are many charges levied against him for those crimes, including 8 counts of battery for a child under 12, 5 counts of battery with a child aged 12 to 18, 7 counts of lewd and lascivious essay, 40 counts of unlawful possession of materials depicting performances by a child. On that Tuesday, March 12th, we found out who the real enemy was. And that was Stephen Stearns. So everyone's looking for answers, right? How did this happen? How would this happen? On Thursday, March 21st, the Kissimmee police chief releases another conference and update onto the investigation. Stearns is said to have dropped her off at school that day, but Orange County Sheriff John Mina said she never made it. It's believed that Soto was actually already gone that morning, and Stearns allegedly moved her after disposing of her backpack and school-issued laptop in a dumpster in Kissimmee. Soto was found in the area where Stearns was last seen, possibly changing a flat tire on a Monday afternoon, wearing clothing similar to what she was last seen in. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephen Stearns returning to the complex, and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already gone at that time. What do you have to go through to take, listen to me, what do you have to go through to take life from a child? A child that you are supposed to protect, a child that you are supposed to love, a child that you are supposed to shield from all the terror that this world has. You are the terror. How can a child survive in this world when terror exists in their own home? Tell me how. Tell me how children of today are supposed to exist when terror exists in their own homes. These types of people hide in plain sight. They do. We have to be a bit better at vetting because if you're not safe in your own home, if a child isn't safe in their own home, they're not safe anywhere in this world. And Stephen Stearns, whatever his motives are, whatever his motives might have been, on Wednesday, April 24th, he was charged with first-degree murder of this child. Maddie's unaliving was ruled a strangulation. So the weight of this grown man crushing this child, for what purpose exactly? And I don't want to step off of the deep end here, but I have to look at the mother and say, there was nothing in your head that went off about your husband. There was no trigger warning. There was nothing about your husband. You never saw any of those 400 pictures flash across his phone. You know, I know she's in grieving, but we as a community need to work together to keep kids safe. There is no excuse for this. And in these United States of America, it continues to happen time after time after time, but we never know why, right? I know I touched on a lot of different things in this video, but I want to also touch on the importance of safeguarding young lives. The importance of, if you see something, say something, even if it makes you uncomfortable. There's been a lot of times I've seen something and I'm like, I'm scared to say something because did I really just see what I saw? But if you see something, say something, especially if it involves a child. Safeguard our youth. They can't do it themselves. But as soon as they become wise enough to do it themselves, they will do it themselves, right? But they need us to protect them, right? I pray that Maddie's family gets the healing and the justice they deserve. He's behind bars. And I know this is not going to be easy for them. This is probably going to be with them for the rest of their lives. Not one person was affected, but hundreds were affected by this. Maybe tens of thousands. We really don't know the magnitude of this. I feel like the biggest point I want to make is that there are millions of Stephen Sterns out there. Millions. You walked past one today and you didn't even know it. So I think it's important that we do our due diligence, do our homework, and when we see something, say something. Don't be afraid to tell your friends to get some therapy. Because if you don't, years of trauma, years of pain can have a devastating outcome. I pray for Maddie's family, and I can't even imagine what that is like. I cannot imagine what it is like to have to know those details. And this child just turned 13. So I just feel like we need to do better as a society. If there are more pieces of evidence from this case that you want me to review specifically, I will do that. Drop those down in the comments below. I have more true crime coming. We're going to take a look at Gabby Petito soon. If you want to see more specific true crime cases, let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. This has been Lindsay Unfiltered. Bye now.